Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, and those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Christ Michael, Christ Michael, Christ Michael, send a healing blessing to all who are watching on this video. Our Father. Hello, welcome to my show. This is Patrick. You can see behind me we have some, there you go, we have some smoke, and that's from the California fires and all the other fires elsewhere. So the whole Southwest, and I don't know, maybe the whole West is filling up with smoke. And where I live, we had little fires, but the smoke would always disappear during the day. I mean, it was fine. But this is more extensive, and it's affecting the whole area, and it's all done on purpose. So what I'm going to do is, we got my dowsing. This is my field when I go into the field, and it's like the old radio antennas on the cars. It's pretty cool. It's not copper, but it has a really nice ball bearing type effect. It's very easy. It slides. Sometimes on the copper ones they have a little envelope and it sticks. I divine my higher self, and it's connected into the greater cosmic, the universal truth, and that's the highest dimension available on planet Earth. So there's a limit to what we see and do on planet Earth. There's a limit, and by accessing your higher self you can plug into that, and you can plug into universal truth, which is way beyond us, and sometimes you get answers and we just don't understand them, and just let them go. Anyway, so that's how I work, and I work with dreams and visions and things like that. And presently everybody's coming unglued because of you know, the China flooding. I don't know if they're reporting on the news. I haven't been following it, but the dowsing said it's going to have an impact on our prices. Let's go look at this. Positive, negative over here, and you can see it. Yeah, show me the flooding impact on prices. It's a it's a lot. I'm not going to tell you what that is, but it's a lot. And I'm talking about mostly your basic commodities, bread and soybeans and corn, and they're going after the fishing. Chinese fleets are aggressively going into other countries' fishing zones, so they're gonna grab all the food they can to get through this. Because let's go over here 100%, please. Okay, go to 100%. Yes, you got it. Thank you. Show me how short is the production of food in China because of the flooding and else. Where are they? Where are they? That's 60%. Do you see that? 60%. So they're 40% short of feeding their people this year. This is crazy. Are they buying up all the food in the United States in the future market they can get their hands on? Yes. So their agents already went and purchased all the food they can. They don't care what it is. They're buying it. They're paying a premium. How much premium are they paying? Ready? Go. How much premium? 10, 20. Right now they're paying about 25% premium over an extent. They're paying off people to make sure. I assume our government officials are asleep at the wheel, or they're being paid off and looking the other way, and the food is going right out the back door. Where is this crop going this fall? That's what we should be looking at. And if it goes to China, we should give China food. We should participate. We have a big production. But we don't want to find ourselves where we're short food. And they're only paying a 25% premium. They should be paying 80% because that's where it's going. That's what we're going to be paying down the road. So they're getting off cheap right now, and it's a very difficult situation. But you know, people on the inside are making a killing on this. They're just making a killing. Okay. Beside that, I wanted to show you what is the probability this coup with the virus against the Republic of the United States of America, is it going to succeed? What is the probability it's going to succeed? And give me the number, please. Give me. It's kind of saying 0% probability, but there is a number. What is the probability? I already know where it is. There it is. Okay, it's about 20%, all right? You see that? Here's 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 80. And it's about 20% chance of succeeding. It's not going to succeed. What is the probability Donald J. Trump will be President of the United States, win the election, whenever it is? Whenever it is. It's about 95%. He is going to win. But the Democrats already have all the... they're going to challenge the vote. Will there be violence in response to the election? Yes, there is going to be some violence. What percent of today's violence? What percent? About the same or less or more? It's about the same. It's no big deal. All right. It's going to be those unemployed teenagers up in Portland, you know, burning garbage cans and stuff, because that's what happens when you watch a whole lifetime of video and they don't count. They can't make people do anything. We are in control of our destiny. The Republic will survive. Will the Republic survive? Will the Republic survive? It's a very, see that? Strong yes. It's a very powerful yes. We are going to survive. We are going to defeat this demon. And where are the demons, by the way? What percent of 20 years ago are we at now? Gee, it's really low. It's going down, down, down. That's 50%. I can hear my chickens. They're all complaining. I give them really cold water. I have a nice well. This is the best water I've had in my life. I just stumbled on it. And it's very high frequency, high vibration. And when I go to the tap and I fill up Max's, it's a bucket of cold water. I have 3 buckets for him because it's kind of warm today. It's about 92. By the way, that was saying about 45% demonic control. It went from 100%. So they've lost all that power. I've been doing this for, what, 4 years? And many of you know it's going down, down. The demons are leaving. The planet Earth is ascending to a higher vibration frequency. And there's nothing these guys can do. Relax. Don't worry about it. Even if they rig the election like 50%, they might not win anyway. It is so overwhelming. So I get the vote for Trump's going to be strong. It's how much they can stuff the ballot box. And as you know, the mail-in is very vulnerable to that. And they don't believe in one man, one vote. They believe their side gets 3 votes per person. They count more, is how they see it. And okay. So what's going to happen cosmically? What's going to happen? Let's go look at Goldman Sachs. All right, you remember Goldman Sachs used to run the United States only a couple years ago, and the Federal Reserve. And what has happened in the last year and a half, 2 years? And we've done this on Dowsing. It's been a slow transfer of power and purpose and authority of the Federal Reserve is being slipped back under the Treasury Department. And then someday you're going to wake up and you're going to see a sign across the Federal Reserve. It's a banner they got at Quickie Mart, and and they're going to print it and it'll say under new management, because it's going to go right underneath the federal. Right now it is under the federal, the Treasury Department, and then we'll get Treasury bills. They're just going to change all this because everything is radically changing, and we have two different groups competing against each other, and the Trump group is the better of the two. It's not perfect. It's not going to represent the average guy 100%, but you'll get 50% more of the pie than you used to. All right, and that'll be good for everyone. Let's see what else we can do. So I really want you to remember that it's going to work out. There's no way. What is the probability the Trump agenda, his populace, will succeed? He implements their plan. It's like 90%. It's 90%. What is the probability that people in their personal lives can increase happiness and peacefulness and harmony with the Lord's Prayer? 100%. 100%. The reason I brought that up, because I think it seems like people are looking for techniques that work, practical things. And when I go through the Bible and dowse everything, or the Buddhist prayers, the Buddhist prayer on forgiveness is very, very high. Buddha himself is a 10. And then when you come over to the Christ light, that's all 10s. It's going to change you just talking about it. When you just think about it, it's instant. He's not only a historical figure, it's like a lightning bolt from the heavens came down to pierce this muck. And if you look at the planet during the time he entered, the Roman Empire was at its peak. Actually, it gets bigger, but the Roman way of life was pretty rough. People didn't live that long, and it was decadent, and it was dirty, unless you lived in the countryside, and you did much better. But what I'm saying here is, this was actually a lifeline from the higher dimensions. What are you going to grab onto to keep you centered, to keep you grounded? And I was going to bring up Bentar, Ikpak Bentar. Remember that guy? Stalking the Wild Pendulum. Yeah, there he is. He's about an 8. He was a writer back in the early 80s. And he passed away in a plane crash, of all things. But he had a neat book, Stalking the Wild Pendulum. Oh, there goes some animals. He made these drawings of how your soul in the morning would not necessarily come all the way back in. And that's where you hear the expression, to be grounded. You need to get your soul all the way into your body every night. So every morning, you can command it, or you can go out for a little walk and say, come on in, get in. You'll be more intuitive, believe it or not. Getting your soul all the way in makes you more intuitive. If you're half out, you're going to be lightheaded. And you got to remember that, all right? And just say, all in. Just say what you want. That's pretty important. Okay, so we're going to have difficulty with food a little bit. I have, from the beginning, I did it 6 months ago, we will not have production problems. We're going to, even though they're trying to cut the production, have you seen that? They're trying to close dairy farms. They're trying to get less acreage under production in wheat and corn and things like that. We're going to have a pretty solid productivity, and we have a lot of buffer in this nation to feed us. But as I said, it's going to increase a big price increase in our food. That's how we handle in this country. We just charge you. So McDonald's will be $10 instead of, $5 for a Big Mac, let's say. that reminds me. You're not going to believe this, but you all have heard it, and I doubt it's true. It is true that there are trace elements of human meat and DNA in a McDonald's Big Macs. Show me how much is that true. It's 100% sure. It's always true. And I get what? About 1.5%. All right? And that might explain why it's so low and Burger King is so low. This is part of their control. It's really important that you consume human meat. So that's why you want to go organic when you can. And I also, two other things on the food. I haven't done food in a while, but it's wild out there. Everything has been tainted. And this is the last stand of the demons. And so milk, I did a milk, and I don't drink organic milk, but I use it in my coffee and things. And a friend of mine went into a meditative state, and he meditated on this, and he came, and he said the milk was the problem. And the milk he was drinking and I was drinking is this regional milk. It's a label. And they said, it's like a co-op, and they say, we are 100%, we are committed to no bovine hormones, no antibiotics. That's all. So our farmers, our dairy farmers, make a commitment. So they're not required to. And okay, so I'm measuring the quality of that milk with all milks. Where is it usually without any tainting? It's like a 6. You see that? Okay, it's a 6. Where is it? Where is it when I get it? It's like a 1, a 0, and it hits me. It's totally toxic. And I don't think it was always that way. And this is done at the processing level, where they put in more. One of the things that said in his meditation, what the word came to him, is they put more estrogen in it. And they're putting more estrogen in canned foods, anything that's processed. And this particular label, this is not in all the milks, all right? So give me Safeway. Give me Safeway milk, please, for all milks. All right, go. I already know where it's going to go. Safeway is about a 2.5, 3. It's sort of like, it's okay. They're not putting in more estrogen. Now, whole milk has naturally more estrogen. You're getting estrogen in milk. So you're wondering why all these young boys in their teenage years are becoming cross-dressers. Part of it is they're getting more estrogen in their diet. And the girls are getting not only more estrogen, they're also getting more testosterone. So all this, these hormones are overriding their mental and spiritual capacity to be grounded, the kids. And it's hard enough to be grounded when you're a kid, but you're taught these by your adults, but our adults aren't doing it. So this generation is it lost? Can we get buy it or not? So show me the kids right now for the next 2, 3, 4 years. Show me their awareness level. Is it less, the same, or more than this? The ones that are going to high school right now. Show me the ones that are being born. Oh, they're going to be born awake, born conscious. So this demonic change in this culture we're going through, it's being defeated all across the board. And one of them is the babies that are being born. And some people have made the argument that's why they're really pushing the abortions, because they know, it's like biblical, they know babies are being born now that are going to be off the charts. They're going to be just awake. And they're going to have to probably take care of the guys that are in high school and college now because they're so utterly stupid and clueless. I'm kind of doing this to poke them, to understand that, you know, you don't have a handle on it. You don't see that we had a black demon running this planet, and we're going to have to work together. And you can't go around and saying you got to kill all the old people and stuff. You can't think like that. You got to say, how do we work together? How do we meet halfway and things like that? And oh, there's a pickup truck. Anyway, let's go on. So, I also got that for Starbucks. Starbucks did the same thing this milk company did. And they have, like McDonald's, 1 3/4% of Starbucks has human meat in it, human DNA and stuff. It's toxic. I'm not making this up. And it blew me away because I like Starbucks, but I feel better. I stopped drinking it like a few weeks ago. I stopped drinking that milk. See, you just have to make a conscious effort to stay away. And just making it organic doesn't make it so. But, and it's so expensive, the organic. I've been buying organic milk. It's off the charts. It's really expensive. But guess what? If you're going to have milk and drink it, you better get a good one for the time being, for the next year or two, until we get a handle on this change of culture, as the people get this culture back in control. I mean, Kamala Harris, when I dowsed her, she's like 100% occupied demon. If you don't know, she's just like totally. Is that true what I just said? Is she 100%? She's not 100%. Okay, it's corrected me. I'm being corrected. What percent is she demonically possessed? What percent? 80%. About 80%. So I was corrected. So 80%. And Biden, this is Biden number 2. And this one's losing his stuff as well. What is the probability? Let's just say remote. It's like a 5% probability. If Biden were to win, how would he last to Christmas? Would he last to Christmas? 80% chance he would last to Christmas. Would he last to Inauguration Day? 20% chance. 20% chance. He's not going to get in. So, and there's been changes. So, I had Oprah Winfrey making a run for president. You know, like when they pull Biden out, they're going to what they're going to do is, I don't know. They're not going to win. They know they're not going to win. But this is all what they're trying to do. They're getting crazy. What is the probability Oprah Winfrey becomes president? How about the presidential nominee? See, she's still in the running. She's always like this, depending how I answer the question, 50%. And about 3 weeks ago, she was 50%. And then, but Michelle Obama is the one that consistently comes through. Excuse me. Oh, here comes a car. Tourists. So Michelle Obama, is she going to be the nominee? Oh, see, it's gone down. They might have changed their plans. I get Michelle Obama. She's like 75% probability right now. Excuse me. And what was Michelle Obama 3 months ago? What was Michelle Obama 3 months ago? 100%. 95%. Remember that? She was it. But they're not winning anywhere. So they keep changing their plans radically. And as I said before, some of this, the reason these probabilities are changing so much, and they're changing their mind all the time, reacting to their losing. They're in the middle of a pitched battle against Trump agenda and forces, the populist movement, to restore the republic. And that's what we're trying to do, restore the Bill of Rights. It's very simple. And when we read the Declaration of Independence, which is, it's always that, it's right on the top. It's man has an inalienable rights. And that is our charter when we formed this country, that we have these rights from God, from the higher dimensions. And the demonic forces are just been chipping away at it, and they're really frustrated they can't win. So you're going to see efforts to bring God, higher dimensions, spirituality back into the classroom. Is that true? Yes, it's 100%. So all those things we did before, saying God does not exist, because the teachers right now, when you take God and inalienable rights out of the classroom, what are you left? Secularism, atheism, and nihilism, or nihilism, whatever you want to say. And you know, when I was in high school, I went to it was a good high school. They put a gun to your head and they made you read the books and literature. And you always had to write a paper. And it helped me a lot scholastically to move on, because I found school so disappointing. And there was a point, I lost my train of thought here. Just give me a second. It was important. I have so many ideas coming in at once. That's my problem sometimes. What is important to say here? This just goes back to, we're going to have a reset, not only of the economy, we're going to have a reset of the culture. Is that true? What percent of that statement? Are we going to have a reset of the culture to go back to, yes, Leave It to Beaver. There's Leave It to Beaver. All right? Where it is critical we get a man and a woman and children. You know, they're married. And there's something, you know, you go all over the world. Let's go back to, you know, 1492. They're selling these ships. You know, the Dutch went down to South Africa. They went to the East Indies. The English went to North America and elsewhere, India. Where did you found marriage everywhere, everywhere, because it was a natural expression to continue the lineage of the culture, the tribe, and the family. And it's through the children and the family is critical. That's why they attacked it. So when I go back to 1960, give me any race in the United States, any. Give me the white race in the United States, their vibration. Oh, I got a wind going into me. God likes this. I'm getting a wind. So it's 5.5. See that? The white race. Show me the black race in the 1960s. And it's going into a wind, and it says 5. All right? This is great. Show me the Native Americans. They? 5. Show me the Native Americans today, the vibration of, I'm thinking of one tribe in particular, I'm not going to pick one out, 0. All right, go back to 5. Show me the white race in the United States today, 0. Go back to, show me the black race right now, 0. What is the one difference? What is the one difference? Now there's a few. There's a few things that are different. What's different now? There was an attack on the family, and it's very subtle. And they put it in movies and TV programs, and they just packed it. And they made it groovy to be anti-family. They made it groovy to attack your family and family relationships. Or the patriarch, the father of the family. Well, the father's not there. Everybody's divorced. It's normal. I don't know if I can find someone married over, you know, because they're chipping away at it. They're chipping away as an institution. And it's interesting, Vatican II happened about 1960 to 1965. And the Fatima prophecies in 1917 said that was one of the issues. So the whole thing about promiscuity between same sexes and things like that. I'm not a prude. I'm just pointing out that these changes have brought this in. So who takes the place as a family? The state takes the place of the family. And you're looking at, why doesn't the white culture work or the black culture work right now? Why are people running around in the streets breaking windows? They have no connection to the family. They're not centered, they're not grounded, they don't have any connection to spirit, they don't believe in God. Most people in this country don't. It's like 50%. They don't believe it. They are nihilists now. Oh, I'm agnostic. Well, that's nothing. Believing in nothing. You're lost. You have no purpose. You have no purpose. And you must regain your connection to the higher dimensions. And that's acknowledging the angels in your life, your guides in your life, your clear connection between your conscious mind, looking out through the world through your two eyes, knowing it's connected. What do you feel and see besides what you physically see? What do you hear? And those things have to be taught. And many people have really good programs. But what you got to do, and it might become default if the federal government becomes more broke, that local areas are going to have to take more and more responsibility. And the best thing that could probably happen is, I'm doing everything in small bits. Obviously, we can expand upon why is the vibration so different now compared to, and we weren't that bad even 5 years ago. We were only at a 3, but it just went boom. Under Obama and the Democrats, we went down to 0. Everything they did, from encouraging to abortions, to having transgender in the army, soldiers wearing high heels for training to give them sensitivity to transgender. This is all a waste of time. This is all a waste of time. They're making transgender. And then the idea of you make children pick a sexuality when they're 7. Oh, what do you feel? Don't worry about it. They don't know what to feel. They're just idiot kids. Their soul, their chakras have not even opened up. They're developing, and you're asking them to make mature adult decisions that they're connected. No, they're not. Just make a law across the land. 18 is it. When you're 18, you can do anything you want. Maybe even throw out sex education altogether. Because what they're teaching is 99% wrong anyway, so why teach it? It's better not to even teach it. Get it at home, and we go from there. We'll be a lot better off until this country can take a deep breath and get out of this mindset about sex. We're just going to have to get rid of Hollywood altogether. All about Hollywood, we just must get rid of it and start over. Maybe find out what went wrong. And anyway, I wanted to, and I'll end with this. So show me again the demonic, all right, Luciferian possibility of succeeding in overthrowing the republic. What is the percent thing? It's always about 15-20%. It's very low probability. Very low. What is the probability? Ivanka someday will be president somehow, and I'm going into the wind. Boom. See that? 90. She's going to do it. Ben Carson will be vice president someday. Joe Biden will be president someday. Look at the probability, 15. Kamala Harris will be vice president someday. 0 probability. The poor woman, she's just like, she's totally possessed. And, oh, Donald Trump Jr., show me him. Donald Trump Jr. He's about 55-60%. He was over here about 4 years ago, 3 years ago. You remember I did him? So he's out there on the camp. He went up, 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 up. And Ivanka is still shooing. But look at this. Look at this. What out of 100, what is Ivanka's desire in her belly to be president? She's not all fired up about it. Where was she 4 years ago? Where was she 4 years ago? The wind's blowing it. Give me a second. She was 80, 90. She was all, yeah, I'll be president. Now she's gotten beat up for 4 years along with her father. She goes, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know. I got kids to raise. I don't know if it's worth it. Does anybody else? Well, Don Jr. just came up to 55%. That's pretty high. That's better than Biden. That's better than Oprah Winfrey. And it's better than Michelle Obama. So they're rethinking Michelle all the time. This is very fluid in the background. I didn't even know if I would waste my time measuring it, but I'm just showing you how fluid it is in the background. You know, all these people who are, and what's the last one? This is not my idea. I actually saw this on a different channel. I saw this on a YouTube channel, and this guy said, "Oh, I had a dream," and it said, way down the road, there's a chance. Way down the road, there's a chance Barron Trump will be president. Well, give me a percentage. Don't just hit me. 95%. That's crazy, isn't it? That's crazy. Now, when I first did Barron 4 years ago, I got probably not. So that shows you that it's, in a way, to get this Trump agenda going, it's going to take a long time. It's going to be very disruptive to the food supply, to our culture. And we're just going to have to go back into our culture and try to get some big ticket items like Roe versus Wade. And, you know, I think it's critical we don't pass any judgment on young women who have abortions in this country. It's not, it's a phenomenon that belongs to the country. We all accepted responsibility for this, all of us, even though we were against it. It's like, and then you have to go, not in my name, you know, say things like that. But the culture was so heavenly, you know, oh, Planned Parenthood, it's like a sales pitch, like, oh yeah, we should plan our families and stuff. But the whole thing is just an abortion clinic. They don't sell anything else. And there's financial incentives for all this stuff. Transgender, there's financial incentive for the doctors, the psychologists to say, oh yes, you are. It's almost like 100% yes. You go into Planned Parenthood, yes, you get an abortion, you'll be happy. You know, that's what will find you a perfect family. And they're selling the body parts. You know, it's so gross. And what else are they doing it with it? What's wrong with Starbucks? How toxic or how healthy is Starbucks? Positive of here, negative. Show me the toxicity compared to other coffees. All right? So all the coffees, give me Starbucks. Is it positive or negative? The wind is blowing quite strong here, but it's going to go to about a 2. I mean, excuse me, that's an 8, a negative 8. So this is negative 10, negative 20, 30, 40, 50, 10. So that's a negative 8. So the toxicity of Starbucks, and this will be neutral. So give me Folgers, give me Folgers. Folgers is just coffee, see? Positive 4, it's acceptable. But Starbucks is toxic. McDonald's is toxic. That's all you got to remember, toxic. I'm switching to organic milk. Now I want to show you briefly before I leave, as a food for human consumption, what is regular milk, which is organic, regular milk. You're out on a farm, you milk the cow, you're drinking milk. Show me on the quality of food for human consumption. I already know it's going to be about a 5-ish. It'll drip back. Okay, there you go. It's like a 5, 5.5. So it's bigger than a 4, which is the minimum, all right? So it's 5. It's acceptable. And it has such great protein and calcium. It's really good for people. When they gave in the Netherlands and in Denmark and even in Japan, they gave a lot of milk to the kids, the first school classes after World War II. And they just shot up. I mean, they went to their genetic maximum. So the average in the Netherlands, I believe, is for a male 6 foot now. You know, and in Japan they're much bigger. They're bigger boned, and they're just getting more protein, and that's because of milk. But it's not an ideal food for humans. It's okay. It's acceptable. It's not toxic. So if you're going to drink milk, you got to drink the best. So I kind of changed my position on it because they're starting to make, used to be okay milk, like toxic, well then you shouldn't even be messing with that. You don't need those hormones, and it makes you docile. That's the one thing with estrogen does. And they have other chemicals in there besides estrogen. All right, it's just like there's 2 more chemicals they've been putting in the milk. I don't know what they're doing with McDonald's. It's becoming an evil organization. All of them, all the fast foods. I bet you I can find some good fast foods. I did this a couple years ago, and they've gone through changes, and maybe I should revisit that and we can find out. But a lot of the whole restaurant thing is like, no one's going to survive. I had 40 to 50%, you remember I said this at the beginning of the close down, will survive the close down. So we're closing down. We went past June 1st, which I said if we go past June 1st, I said that in early May, this economy is going to take a long time. I had a V-shaped recovery before that. And then as we got into it, and I go, oh, it looks like they're going to do this. They're just crazy. They're going to go for this shutdown. And this shutdown and this energy, this is, what's this? Show me the destructive energy of World War II on America is this, all right? This is my benchmark. The destructive energy on America of World War II. Show me the destructive energy on America from the close down of this economy for this virus. Is it positive? Do we have less destruction or negative? We have more. Go. I'm making a point here. It's actually saying, go. So I'm getting, now I have a wind going this way. It kind of doesn't matter. It just works. It's fighting it. It's coming off my energy from my body. And the point here is, it's right about here. And benchmark is here. And it's kind of telling me, you know, it's about a 5 or 10% more energy destructive force. Well, wait a minute. How many men were killed? How many? Look at all the resources we put on, all the rationing we did and everything. This virus is greater than the destructive forces of World War II on our country. That's just amazing when you're looking energetically. And that's why you're seeing half the restaurants close. And then I'm getting another, probably in a year, to be honest, I got 60% were closed, will never open up. And you're seeing them fight right now. And then it's the next year, this next year, we're going to lose another, I believe, 10 to 20% of those. So those that are opening stay, you're going to have, and you can kind of say, well, no one has any money now. All right? The average person doesn't have any money. The power people actually destroyed the middle class completely. They're walking around with empty wallets. Yeah, people got, if you got money in the stock market, that's all fixed. So you're kind of lucky. It went all the way down to 18, but they fixed, it's not based on revenue. No one's buying anything. Why is the stock market so high? Well, they're fixing it because they know the average person is just looking at the Dow. They're not looking at all these other indexes that'll tell you the truth, you know? So we're moving into a place where it's really, really dark. And the Trump forces are going to have to come out with policies to really invigorate this. And it won't be, it's going to have to be creative. It's going to have to be creative. It's going to be, and I think the universities are not going to do well. I said this over and over. We're looking at what's happening now. People are starting to question them. And the January semester coming up is going to be really, you're going to see, bam. And then all the sports, that's entertainment, right? Sports is not a real game. They do fix them because it's considered entertainment. It is the spectacle of Rome. The NFL, Major League Football, ice hockey. So everything we see there is done for our enjoyment, to keep us busy, and we don't think about the higher things, about ourselves, and get connected. And it's going to take time for people to do this. It's not easy. So a shortcut is, I found this one lady, she sings, I don't want to harp on this, but these are just shortcuts. You can get a handle on things for yourself. It's the Lord's Prayer, the Our Father. It came from Jesus Christ on the Sermon on the Mount, and whatever. It's done a couple times. It's in Aramaic, in his language. And I get the roots of this go back real far. But because it came through him, because he's so high, he's taking that was created in the 10th, the highest dimensions, whatever the highest dimensions you are. I know everybody, and he's pulling it down into this sludge of earth. And it's your lifeline. It's one of the lifelines. And you can say it 3 times a day. Say it 3 times a day. You don't have to be a member of any church. You don't have to be a Buddhist. You don't have to be a... But if you say it 3 times a day, you'll have a significant shift in your well-being and in your thinking and your connection to spirit. All right? And you can take it from there. This one gal, she does it for a whole hour. It's a recording. Just look in 1 hour Lord's Prayer, Aramaic. It should come up. And she sings it. And you can put that down low. And you let it go for a whole hour. And that'll last you, that'll double the vibration of your room. Of your room. You put it in your living room, it'll double the vibration of it. And, or you can put it on an iPhone. And you can just play it wherever you're at or something. It'll shift you for the whole day. I mean, you can say it, if stuff is really, really going bad, just say it like a mantra at night in bed. You're just sitting there in bed. You're not sleeping anyway. You might as well just say the Lord's Prayer over and over. And you'll get good at it. You kind of drift off and it'll come back. It's excellent. Excellent, excellent. And your problem you took to bed with you, there's a good chance it will significantly change in the morning. Or things during the day will open up for you that you didn't have. It will shift your energy. And especially if you're worried, you're depressed, anything like that, just say it. I say minimum of 3, but you know, you're laying in bed, you're laying on your couch, no one's home, just go for it. Close your eyes. The other ones they use are quite... the other one is, by the grace of God go I. It's like a mantra. It's a Christian mantra. I think of it that way. Yeah. See how that's like a 10? And then the other one is, Lord have mercy on me. Christ have mercy on me. Just those words. Christ. And repeat it as a mantra, just like you do a Buddhist mantra. You know? See, it's all very high. But none of them are as high as the whole Lord's Prayer. All right? And I just want you to take that with you. Those all work. They all do different things. And the forgiveness Buddhist prayer is very good. And there's other ones out there. But I think you're going to have to have a lifeline. And that's what it was designed for. You know, everything else, talking about forgiving and compassion, if you're not connected, those things are like very difficult. And that's why the word Christ, now supposedly it shows up, it's a Greek word, and it actually shows up in the pyramid. They found it in the pyramid. And that's why the Luciferians always put, like when you say Merry Christmas, they put an X for Christ. You ever seen that? That's the Luciferian. They did that in our culture. They always fight the word Christ. The Christ word is 330% of the average vibration of any word. And there's some other words that are equal to that, but Christ is extremely high. Just a word. Just a word. You know, somebody has that Christ spirit is very rare, and that's what Jesus had. He brought in the Christ. And the other one is truth truth is extremely high word. Universal, extremely high. Then you go universal Christ, universal truth, universal Christ consciousness. Those things are really, you could just say that as a mantra and you'll be very high. I think the Lord's Prayer will last you a couple days. You know what I mean? But if you do it daily, I think it's very good, because just what I said, you could play that one song. It doesn't matter who's singing it in Aramaic. They can sing it in French, Swahili. It doesn't matter. And it'll have the effect 1/2 second. When you have the intention of start saying it, you said, how do I say it? Our Father. All right. Once you say that, it instantly changes your whole vibration. It changes the water in the cup of coffee. My gut, yeah. And what's the other one? So it'll double it. It'll change the whole thing in your room, in your kitchen, in your living room. You want to play it. Neighbors might complain, but she goes for a whole hour. It just loops. And I get, okay, show me the Lord's Prayer. 1 hour of that tape. Is it 10% more, 20%, 30, 40, 50, 60%? Show me. Over 100%. Doubles the vibration in the room. And it should hold for the whole day. And you can actually turn it down low to affect you. If you're working and it bothers you, you can turn it down real low. The other thing I did the other day is very powerful. In hypnosis, you get two people to put you into a trance, and you can stop smoking, you can clear your channels, you can find obstacles. It's very similar to Scientology of all things. But when they say they give you a free personality test, they're looking for obstructions and things in your life that you do that prevent you from having good relationship, a good work, good income, whatever. And you know, hypnosis or the biofeedback, which that is, or just biofeedback, or something like in Fritz Perl, he has Gestalt, and they have somebody, they sit you in a chair and they look at you and they look for little changes in your swallowing, your eye movement, and they're talking to you about your childhood, and then you'll swallow and they go, oh, you swallowed on your mother, you had an issue with your mother when you're 5, you know, that sort of thing. Those are all the biofeedbacks. And if you don't go that route, the Lord's Prayer is a way to clear that. Got it? So you can either go to Scientology and have your personality test and they can tell you all their stuff, or Fritz Perl. Now Scientology and Fritz Perl, the human potential movement, the hypnosis, it's basically Luciferian, right? It is. It's nihilist. They will never accept that something is outside of you, like an angelic being or Christ consciousness coming into you, or or all these energies coming into you. They say no, everything's eternal. Science. They think they're science. Lucifer is logic. Don't forget that. And that logical part, I've seen them just, they just come unglued, these like, you know, PhDs in psychology, because they go, no, it's all internal. You can't do whatever. They're not happy. That's why they're a psychologist. So that's the problem. You want that. You have an inalienable right to be connected to spirit. And that's the whole program of Lucifer and all the Democrats and even Mitt Romney's and the Republicans, all the bankers and all this filth and movies. Everything they do is to numb you, just to numb you, so you lose hope and you lose connection to your higher self and to the universal consciousness. So, and in particular, the universal Christ consciousness. Both of those are similar. They're interchangeable, those words. And you got to find out what works for you, but you got to use that as a lifeline. It's a shortcut, believe it or not, and turn down this culture as much as you can. drink organic milk if you can afford it. Drink a different coffee. I should really go through all the foods and really find out which are the good foods. But that would be too excessive. So, now, and then I'm going to end it with dog food, just briefly. So, I have a whole book. Oh, I didn't bring it. It's a bestseller. And it's, it's not a bestseller. But it's been passed around. People know about it. And they don't like it. But basically, dog food used to be pretty good for dogs in the 60s and 70s. And in 1989, 1990, all foods, even for humans, it all just went down, down, down. Even beer and wine went down and down and down. If you drink beer, like I said before, if it's between Budweiser and Coors, Coors is 3 times better. It's acceptable, it's food-like. If you have the money, Low and Brow is better than all of them. And things like that. The wines, the cheaper wines they just made toxic in 1995. It's gonna kill you. It just has arsenic and everything else. They do a lot of black magic. Try to stick with foods that don't have black magic in them. For example, if there's any Hindu sign or Buddhist sign, Christian sign, or the Jewish sign, I forget what it's called. What do you call it? And they put a label on it. You don't want that. That's good for Jewish people, but it's not good for you. You know what I mean? It's toxic for you. And it shows. Here. So let's say, I don't know. I'm trying to say, show me a product, cottage cheese. Show me regular cottage cheese. Alright? Really good. Cottage cheese is really good for you, alright? 10. Especially organic. Let's call it organic cottage cheese. Okay, show me that one. I forget what it is, I'm sorry. It's the Jewish one. You stamp it on and say it's kosher. Show me kosher for all non-Jews. It's really bad. It's like 0. It's not good for you. But show me if you were Jewish. Show me kosher for Jewish. It's really good. Alright? So you have to be aware of that. They do put, there are specific blessings for a particular culture. And you probably should avoid it. You know, unless you have, you feel it's okay and things like that. You just go in and test it. It's, you just want the food. And then you bless it. I'll bless my food. I don't need someone else, and I don't need to pay extra to have somebody bless my food. I'll bless my food. And when you do, guess what happens? You go up 10% in energy and frequency. This is all about, this is a redundant, but you see the demonics are down to 4%? You wait 6 months to 12 months from now, it's going to be here, that needle. And all this whole paradigm, all the culture is changing. Everything. It's all going to change. I don't know what we're going to do in Hollywood. But you know what? If the satellites fell out of the sky, everybody will probably be better off. We might have problems with our farms and our manufacturing, but it is so toxic and so dangerous, and the kids are committing suicide as a record number. You have to start being proactive. And all this will add energy back into the family unit, right? If the satellites fell down, you're not going to have TV, you're not going to have Hollywood. Money will start being focused for investments around here. People will get to know each other a little bit more. The families will reinvigorate the Native American community, the white community, the Irish American, the Italian community, the black, what else is there? Asian American. They're all going to bring, when the family gets whole, the kids will be fine. This thing, what we created, did not result from a vote. Did anyone vote on any of these cultural phenomena? No, it was always the Supreme Court that did it. It was a back door. And you say, oh, they implied, well, I read this in the Constitution. It doesn't say anything about the Declaration of Independence or the Constitution, or none of it's there. You have to be on ayahuasca or psilocybin, you know? You have to take drugs to even read this into those documents. And they're not there. Because the higher dimension of the family unit is way, way higher than the rights of who you want to have sex with. That's much lower. It's really lower. And we're going to have to revisit all this. We're going to revisit it real fast. It's going to be, it doesn't work. They're creating a lot of damaged children that have gone into adulthood and they're adrift. And they're adrift because they didn't have a mother and father. In general. I'm generalizing here. But the drift has been over here and it's going to drift back. And we're going to start implementing more things back in. Do you see how they destroyed the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts? It's bankrupt. How in the world is it bankrupt? Or they took it and they brought lawsuits. Now let me get to this. Is ACLU. They brought lawsuits to say we have to let gays and perverts become scout masters, all right? People who like sexually little boys. And the courts ordered the scouts to have these guys as scouts master. And when I dowse it, why not? Let's just get in trouble. What percent of gay scoutmasters will abuse boys? 50%. It's 50%. It's really, and it goes on and on and on. That figure goes on and on and on to all these topics. And who is looking out for the kids? Where are their rights? Their rights are more important because it's their whole life ahead of them. That's basically it. And I don't even know why. I have compassion for these people that they want to be gay scoutmasters, but they need to step back and realize, A, you shouldn't be there, and B, we'll try to fix your situation. We'll try to heal it in some way. I don't know what your childhood, but we're going to have to break the cycle that's been going on for thousands of years. And so the scouts lost all these lawsuits brought on because all their young sons and daughters were abused, especially the boys. So the Boy Scouts of America is bankrupt from all the lawsuits they lost, which they were forced to do by the courts. So we're going to have to go fix all that. And how you fix it? You can fix it by law. You don't go through the courts. The courts are filled with perverts. They're not going to give us. And we're going to have to fix the courts somehow. And we're going to be able to do this because we're going to have this shift in frequency for the whole planet. We're going to see who is going to be. We're going to be able to see better, discern these people. Does that make sense? So somebody's going to be a scoutmaster. We won't look at the form. I'm John Smith. We'll look and see his auric field. We see his vibration and frequency. We're going to see that they're decent for this job. That's a high responsibility. It's a high response. It's one filled with a lot of esteem in the community because you're taking these kids and you're running them into the ground in the forests and the lakes, and they're learning how to live on the land. This is really, really important. But now it's all wrecked. They wrecked everything. Everything. The nihilists, the secularists have wrecked everything in the culture. That is Luciferian. And they have this logic and rhetoric. They can twist your mind like a pretzel. But because you can see the frequency and the vibration, you can see what is truth, what is universal truth. And truth is like the highest. In Greek philosophy, truth is everything. Truth is Christ, and Christ is truth. Anyway, that's where we are. That's where we're going. And that's why they're screaming. They're just screaming they're going to do all this stuff. They're not going to succeed. And they may try to pull something, you know. I don't know if the election will be delayed. It's funny that I picked up on it for the last 2 years. It could be canceled or delayed. And they started talking about it last 6 months. So as we go up to the election, if it is delayed, I think it will be within this year. It'll be just for a couple months, you know, like December or something, end of December. I'm still trying to figure out how they would delay it. And one thing I came up was interesting, really quick. Could be China attacks Taiwan. That would be like very, very dangerous. It could be something external from us. It could be this coronavirus. Maybe though the Democrats can get a judge somewhere to say we can't have an election. Things like that. Or there could be something totally off board, off stage. We don't know about it. And the two parties will get together and agree to a delay. And something that's existential. Oh, there's an ET, hostile ET, the Dragos come back. Something like that. Something we don't know. Off stage. And they'll get together and they'll say, oh, the virus is so bad. And it won't be for the virus. But, so, all Trump needs to do is get an honest election. That's all he's trying to do. He's trying to get to the election and just more or less get something honest, and he'll win it. And I think he will do that. That's where it's pointing to. If it's delayed a couple months, it doesn't matter. You know, because the inauguration is not until January anyway. And he'll already be, and hopefully we can start speeding up this process of healing the nation. And part of this is you might have some more riots through December. But it does end. It just ends like that. The whole racial tension that we feel is the worst it's ever been because they're artificially putting people on the cameras and stuff to get people angry. Most of the people don't feel that way. Most of the people aren't that way. You know what I mean? Most people are not racist. They're not. There is a subconscious thing going on in America. You know, it's not a big thing, but it's there subconsciously. And it affects the racial tension a little bit. And we're going to learn more. As we learn more about ourselves, we'll understand race better. But people are exploiting it for power and money. That's what's going on now. It's not a natural expression. Most people can sit down and have a beer or a cup of coffee. I mean, they'll get along. Really. You can get along with anyone. But when people are exploiting the situation and make it like the people on CNN especially, and MSNBC and all the networks, they're exploiting the relationship between people. All right, I talked enough. Try to eat better. Do the All Father. Show me the average person here. Show me them 3 All Fathers in the morning. Look at that. You're going to shift completely. How many hours? How many days? Excuse me. How many days? About 1. Okay, how many? Here's 10 hours. Here's 20. Here's 24. Here's 12 hours. How many hours will that last, the three All Fathers? Yeah, it'll last till about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So you say another one. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that. This smoke is from the fires. Those are all arson set in California. It's to take over the state. And the Luciferians are trying to take over the state. They own the newspapers. And the people don't know what's going on. And there's a good chance, if the election wasn't fixed, that Trump could carry a couple of those. Actually, I think he can carry all 3. But the way it's fixed, I see Washington. Is Washington state, what's the probability Trump can carry that even if it's fixed? That's the high one. I think he can get Washington state. Where's Oregon? What is the probability he carries Oregon? That's 50%. It's less than 50, 49%. With the cheating? Yeah. With the cheating. What is the possibility he can carry California? With no cheating, he can carry it, 80%. Show me what the cheating they're going to do in California. What's the probability? What's the probability if they cheat? He's down to 40%. he probably won't win it because they're going to rig it. If it was a perfect one vote, he would win it. Solid. All those states. He's solid, he'd probably win them all. So he'll probably, it looks like even with the cheating, he should win Washington State. Thank you. Bye-bye. And good luck.